Welcome back to our last crusade, or the rise of a new world. Anime review episode number 3. This one I'm talking about episodes 6 through 9, which is the third book for the series. Yep. Basically kind of like you have like two major plot threads here. One of course gets intercepted by, let's say, something else. Oh yes, definitely. Now, things starts out Alice basically just really wanted to have another fight with Itsuka. So she goes visit Neutral City. Meanwhile, though, Unit 907, that's pretty much the name of the team that Itsuka's on, yeah, apparently Mismi, the captain, discovers something wrong with her shoulder. And she takes off her jacket and realizes, oh crap, she's got an Astromage crest on her arm from the vortex from the last two-parter. Yep. And of course they try to keep hidden, and of course half of the unit, no one else knows. So, of course, they're also assigned by the apostles to go and capture the queen. So, assignment that actually was mentioned. Yeah, I believe this assignment was actually mentioned at the end of book 2. That was their assignment for their next assignment they're going to do. So they need to infiltrate the country. And according to their superior, who Mismi works for, she's like, yeah, let me give me like 3 days to plan it. So can't technically go like right away without a plan. It's kind of a smart idea. So Mismi and Isuka go to this neutral city, and just by sheer coincidence, now Alice been hunting around the city for Isuka for 3 days, and then eventually sees that, oh yeah, like a place to town, and of course looks like, oh hi Alice. Yeah, he does. And of course they sit down, they chat for a bit, and of course, well, Rin shows up later on. Well, comes with drinks. Oh, look how he's there, and of course, well, she had gotten drinks, and then she decided, well, Mismi was there, chatting for a bit. Of course, she decided to get something to drink because she was thirsty. So that's when Alice shows up, and then Rin shows up with her own drinks, gives Alice a drink, and then Isuka a drink, and he drinks his, and he gets knocked out. Yep, sleepy drug. Okay. So they decide to kidnap him just because he's there. So they put him in handcuffs and put him in a nice car. And Misme comes back and is like, what? And of course, Misme sees this, and she basically is shocked the fact Alice is doing this to me. She drugged Isuka and dragged him away. And I don't know if they counter each other in the very next book, because I haven't read the next book yet. So then basically Alice's wild night begins. Like, they get back to the hotel, and then of course, like, get a look at the room next door, the presidential suite. And of course, Ren basically tried to frame Isuka for trying to hurt her, take a knife out, and then they fight for a while, and of course, Ren's right on top of him, and of course, Alice just happens to come in, and of course, she's like, of course, Isuka points out that Alice is in the room. So he's like, really? Is she really here? I don't buy it. And then Alice is like, you gotta say that again? Really? Like, oh crap. And of course, because she couldn't trust her to be with her, so she basically this longer chain or attach her to Isuka. And of course, he goes like, okay, this is fine and all. I think because I'm your prisoner. Like, what about going to the bathroom, taking a bath, or sleeping? I thought that was kind of hilarious. And then she realized that she needs a bath, so. And apparently she completely forgot that Isuka was in the room. So she comes out holding a towel over her front of her body, which in the manga she didn't do this, which I gotta glaze the fact. You remember, oh yeah, put a towel in front of yourself. And then of course Isuka sees the crest mark. He has nothing against it at all. It's just basically based on a very dumb prejudice that he doesn't believe in. Like, oh, you have that, you're considered to be a monster. His perspective's like, no, that's not what he thinks. I mean, it's what they have, so he has nothing against it at all. And of course, she lost her thought, and then she just accidentally drops her towel right in front of him, exposing her naked body. And of course, he doesn't like overreact like a guy normally would see a beautiful woman complete naked right in front of him. And he's like, okay, but can you put some clothes on? And she's like, what? He's like, are you oogly at me? He's like, no. And like, fine. You saw me naked. I want to see you naked too. And they try to strip him, but that didn't happen. Well, that would have been funny if that happened. But they cut away, and apparently Team 407, now 7, Iska was captured and taken to this prison, which is where this great wizard basically was kept. Salazar, I think his name is. Yeah. So they go there. Of course, they don't know he's there. There's a hint at this, like somebody's only, I think Iska's here, but really he isn't. So Mismi has his swords because he brings his swords with him. So of course he's told about the legend of Salazar, where he apparently at one point tried to overthrow Alice's grandmother, because it mentioned was the mother of the current queen, so that means this is Alice's grandmother they tried to overthrow. They don't really mention her much, as far as I can tell, besides this one conversation. As for why he tried to overthrow her, well, they don't really say. Well, basically, because he didn't like the fact that they ruled via privilege instead basically by other stuff that he wanted. Oh yeah, why was he put in prison? Not just because he overthrew the queen. That was not the only reason. Because he was stealing astral seal, he was stealing magic from other astral mages. Yeah, so he was a thief and a traitor at the same time. So he's kept in our prison. So Itka, I think her name is, basically frees him, just so he can go on a rampage. Try distraction. Oh, and the reason why they capture Queen, so they think it's driving the war to end. No, they according to Iska, he thinks that the reason why that they want to do it so they can extend the war to the point where they can basically drive the sovereignty to basically have all the massacre of all the Ashen Mages, which even he thinks basically is bullcrap. So during the final, I think it was toward the end of this arc, when the escape happens, we see brief cameos by Alice's sisters. Yes, one is the elder sister Esther, and the younger one, which is pointed out though that she is the very same witch who was freed back in the pilot episode of the series. Yep, the one who first showed up at the very start of the series. Yeah, they actually revealed in this episode that she is that very same witch. Of course, Al doesn't know this yet. So you see her briefly worrying about what the heck is going on. Of course, she has to go back inside because she's isolated. So Alice basically seeing this explosion, grabs her herself and has Iska, like, before she leaves the hotel, leaves a new handkerchief for him, points on like something like, and of course she also left his phone there, so he contact the friend, contact his unit. And he says, I got a sword. It's like, oh yeah, he's at a hotel, not at the prison. Like, oh, we're at the prison. Like, crap. So he's like, he's got to head over there. He's like, I got these handcuffs. And just by sheer coincidence, like, not only left his phone there, but left a key there too, underneath the handkerchief. He probably like, I gotta thank her later for this. And of course, the Transcendental Wizard decides to fight Rin. Yep. And, well, like, oh, you're an Earth-based user.
I'm going to get my luggage.
Okay.
Hello, Nikki. I'm coming back. Get more luggage.
Anyways. So pretty much, of course, Alec doesn't fight the wizard at all. Nope. Rin does, and of course Iska shows up because, well, he's the enemy of Alice's, and he'll agree to help. He'll agree to help her. Also, he mentioned Alice when he was captive by her that he considers her to be his rival, which she accepts that. And during the car ride over, there's this funny bit before I continue here, where basically Rin nearly runs into the car, and of course Iska's head ends up in Alice's chest, which I thought was so funny. And of course she's kind of embarrassed by it. But apparently he's nonchalant by seeing a woman naked. This is technically the second woman he's ever seen naked. He did actually see Mismi naked, so now it's Alice's turn. Yep. So he begins his fight with the wizard, and it lasts for the last 2 episodes of this adaptation. And well, he kind of beats him. Of course, he falls back into a pit after fighting for quite some time. Very, very good battle. I got to praise the studio basically who actually did the series. This is very well done. Yep. So beats him, and of course Ren he makes a good Ren like, I'll beat him in exchange. My friends and I get to leave the sovereignty, and she's like, okay, that's perfectly fine. So he beats her, and of course they're allowed to leave the territory. And Alice herself basically is very probably thankful toward Iska for protecting Ren and defeating the wizard. And it looks like we might see some stuff later on that we might see explored. I mean, it seems as though you can see with this one, you see this is potential setup for the end of this particular season, which is seeing Alice's youngest sister, Sibyls. They don't say her name here, but I read that's her name, Sibyls. So we'll see her for the final 3 episodes of the series. Yeah, so great episodes overall, and it's also by far the only one taking the most of my episodes. The actual book itself I read was actually just 185 pages. I'm like, really? This is the one that gets 4 episodes, and yet the previous book, which was like 5 pages shorter, excuse me, and that only got 2 episodes, and this got 4. How does that make any sense? Yeah. It's quite weird though, where basically one of the books basically adapt for the series, where I think it's the most amount of episodes. You look, let's say, The Rise and Short Hero, for example. The 4th book adapted for that series took up like 8 episodes. It's like a 4 out of 12, basically almost half the frickin' series. And in the case of Rise and Short Hero, it's kind of the same thing too with that one. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I always think it's kind of weird they have one book takes up most of the series. Heck, even The Free was like this too with the first book, where it took up 5 episodes. It's 1. Yeah, 5. But yeah, not much else to say about these 4 episodes. They're definitely good, and I can't wait to see more stuff explored. I mean, so basically the only stuff we get here for the next one is basically the Pink Girl coming back, which is Alice's youngest sister, and of course the stuff with Mismi. That gets explored. That's more set for it's a good plot thread basically set for. Yeah, Mismi gets actual arc, which is quite interesting. She's not one of the 2 lead characters. She's one of the supporting characters, and yet she gets an arc. Yeah, which I'm looking forward to basically watching the last 3 episodes. Eventually watch them. I'm not sure when I'll get a chance to watch them, such as I'm going to have to read about half a dozen books before I get to the 4th book. But I'll get to that book pretty soon. Yep. So yeah, that's it for Signal View. And that's probably going to be a video tonight, because I'm not sure if I'm able to record a video because there's a lot of stuff going on right now. So, until the next video. Bye.